We visited Dinosaur National Monument near Vernal, Utah in the fall of 2014. If you would like to get notices when I post again, be sure to subscribe right here. Just click on that button. This monument covers 210,000 acres straddling the border between Utah and Colorado. It was established on October the 9th, 1915. It has about 300,000 visitors each year. It's one of the richest bone beds in the United States for the Jurassic period. Dinosaur National Monument is made in two parts, one in Colorado and the other in Utah. And we'll be looking at the part in Colorado first. We'll be driving along the top of a mesa and through some rolling hills as we go. From up here on top of the mesa, we get a good look at a geological formation called the Escalante that goes all the way from here down to southern Utah. We'll see the bottom of it later. It's called the staircase there. And now as we head over to the Utah side of the park, we'll pass through Dinosaur. There's not a lot of town here. And now it's time for us to explore the Utah side of Dinosaur National Monument and its fossil bone quarry. We were over here on this road earlier today, and now we've moved over to this section of the park, and especially the dinosaur quarry. We'll be following the Green River. At one time it flowed as high as these mountains. In the late 1880s and early 1900s, paleontologists were all over this area looking for dinosaur bones, and the one we're going to be visiting is the largest Jurassic dinosaur bone quarry in the world. Our first stop will be the Visitor Center, where we'll take a good look at what's going on. In this bone quarry, bones from all of these different types of dinosaurs was found here. And now it's time to head up to the bone quarry and look at this magnificent sight. Over 350 tons of bones have been removed from this site at this time, and what we're seeing is just what is left. The Morrison Formation covered most of the southwestern United States and was laid down by one river. We're going to be in this area, and in this area the deposits are over 800 feet deep. In the early 1900s, Earl Douglas worked here for the Carnegie Museum in Pittsburgh, removing bones from it. And what we're seeing is just he finally got tired of digging and left the rest of the bones here. As you can see, there are bones upon bones upon bones, and if you dug through this layer, there'd be another layer below them. Deborah really likes this museum. You actually get to touch, and she touched a lot, and so did Alan. It's just a big jumble of bones with backbones here and skulls there, and over there are some ribs, and just about any kind of bone you can think of. There are 4 major groups of dinosaurs in the Jurassic, and all 4 of them are represented here. There are many different species of sauropods here. In fact, one of those, the Apatosaurus, was the first dinosaur bones that were found here. As you can see, it's a medium-sized dinosaur, and not extremely tall, and here it is in its natural habitat. They even found skin impressions from the sauropods. A Camarasaurus was also found in almost whole condition here. They were fairly small as these kind of dinosaurs went, and so they were good prey for the Allosaurus, which are the theropods of the Jurassic period with the 3 toes and leaving this kind of track. The Allosaurus were meat eaters, as you can see from their teeth here and this skull that was found whole. And they look something like this. The third major group found here was Stegosaurus, and this is a baby that was found here, skeleton. They had defensive weapons like these spikes, which you have found here, and also the plates on their back, which were also found in the quarry. The last group would be the ornithropods, and they were more bird-like and plant eaters. The fossils are not just located in this quarry, but in rocks all around here. If you were to dig down very far, you would find them. And now it's time to head on out from the quarry. We're going to be touring the Tilted Rocks. Our final destination will be Josie Morris Cabin on the far right at the end of the canyon. Our first stop will not be too far from the quarry, and it is called Swelter Rock because it was so hot when they excavated here. And we're going to stop here and look at the petroglyphs that are found here. There are 2 types of artwork here. The petroglyphs, which are made by pounding on the stone and chipping away, and the pictoglyphs, which are basically colorings. We have both of them here. There's many unusual shapes, almost like aliens in some of them. This is what it looked like when it was discovered, but much is faded, and unfortunately some people have vandalized it with their initials. And now it's time to head on down the road and see other things. Many think this rock formation here looks like a turtle laying on a rock. I really can't see it. Can you? Green River flows along the edges of this park, and here's a camping area. On the other side is private land, and we're going to have to cross it to get to the rest of the park. Soon we head into the hills and up the canyon to Josie's cabin. First we were on a paved road, and now we're off on gravel. You can see here how the rocks have been twisted and tilted by the geologic forces, and it gives us its name, Tilted Rock Trail. Our next stop will be to look at some more petroglyphs in this area. They're up on a cliff. Can you see the 8-foot long lizards? There are 2 of them. Let's zoom in so you can see them better. I'm going to climb up to the cliff and look at the lizards more closely, and along the way there's a sagebrush lizard. These petroglyphs were made by the Fremont people about 1,000 years ago. Can you see the horn player here? And the various other people here that have been chipped away in the rock, and the goats. And of course the iconic lizards, 8 feet long. Up on the cliff you get a very good view of the surrounding area. And then we head further on back into the canyon to Josie's house. Josie Morris moved into the Cub Creek area at the age of 40 in the early 1900s. She was divorced but had grown children. She lived here by herself and did all the work herself, building this homestead, and lived here until 1964 when she was 90 years old. She built it along the creek for water, but she had no running water, no electricity, and no neighbors. She raised cattle, as are still raised in this area today, and had fruit trees and a garden to help her. Let's take a look around her cabin. The dirt floors were covered with woven mats to give them a semblance of some kind of civility, and then it's time to leave and head back out of the park toward Salt Lake City. The wildflowers have been blooming in the desert ever since we've been out for the last couple of weeks, and they've been very beautiful. Soon we're heading back into the Green River bottoms. And then we pass out of the park, heading on towards Salt Lake City to the west. This brings us to the end of this video.